going on? Levi Trumbull reporting here, and we have some updates to provide you guys, or some judicial updates, I should say, as it relates to the FSU Frostburg State University shootings, which took place at an off-campus party on May the 7th of last year, and we have almost been continuously following this situation since this happened again in May of last year. So a very big and notable incident to happen in the Frostburg area, and we have been covering it since. When we first broke you this story, at the time it was 2 defendants that were in custody. That number bumped up to 4 individuals, and as you will remember, the 4 who were indicted was Benjamin Laurent Atyam, 21, Javon Vinson Epifanio, 22, Malik Lewis, 19, and DAIQUAN TYRONE Raymond Guy. These were the 4 individuals who have been indicted. I just want to state for the record that we have covered many facets of this case before. Today we're just going to mostly provide updates. We're not going to rehash anything. If you haven't seen the original tapings, the original videos that we have done on this topic, where we have broke down indictments, we have broke down charging documents at length. If you have not seen those videos, if you are coming into this thing fresh, make sure to check the links in the description where you can find those videos, again, where we break the original story back in, I guess would have been May last year was when we broke the original story, and then we subsequently brought you charging documents and indictments. All that is accessible, and we will link that to in the description below. So if you guys want to find that, get the backstory, the complete backstory, we've covered all that, and that, like I said, you can check the description. We will link all that down there. So the updates that I want to talk about is real quick. You will remember, we'll start off with this guy right here. This is, if I'm correct, this should be, let's have this play. Yeah, Javon Vinson Epifanio. We're first going to start with him. So if you will recall, Javon was charged with a litany of things. We'll pull it up right here if you remember. He was charged, this is his charging document right here. He was charged with murder, connection to murder, assault in the second degree, assault in the first degree, just a litany of assault charges as it relates to a whole bunch of different people, reckless endangerment, disorderly conduct. And you will remember there was just a litany of things that he was charged with. And starting with Javon, when we look him up, because remember, there are 4 different defendants in this thing, and we're going to try to take them case by case and bring you the update as it relates to each of them. But with Javon, and we have him pulled up right here, let's see if we can zoom in a bit, help you guys out. Javon. And like I said, you remember all the things that he was charged with, from murder to connection to murder, and then a whole bunch of assault charges, reckless endangerment. Well, it looks like out of the 4 defendants, again, the 4 defendants that we have named, it looks like Javon, and I hope I'm saying his name right, I don't know, but Javon looks like he's going to get the biggest break out of all 4 of these defendants. Now, let's tell you what happened here. So Javon would go on to plead guilty, take a voluntary guilty plea on November 28th, 2023 in the Allegheny Circuit Court in front of Judge Getty. He would plead guilty to connection to assault in the second degree, as you can see right here, which is only a misdemeanor. And what's interesting is that connection to assault in the second degree wasn't even something he was indicted for. But evidently, the state in this case, and I won't speak for the state, but evidently they feel like with Javon, they cannot establish enough of a case. This is what it says to me. that they cannot establish enough of a case that he has any serious criminal liability in the events of May 7th. Right? So that's usually what happens when you have a large number of defendants. I mean, you do see that. Some who have lesser involvement will sort of plead out so that the big boys, the heavy hitters, the jury trials can be saved for them, because a jury trial can take weeks, right? And you can't spend 6 months trying 4 defendants on the same set of facts. That can get difficult. So it looks like what they did for this individual, Javon, was they worked out a situation where they would get him to plead guilty, a voluntary plea of connection to assault in the second degree, a misdemeanor charge. Again, I mean, if you're Javon, you could have a hell of a break right here, because he plead guilty. Yeah, it's going to go on his record and all that, but let's see what he got. And as you can see right here, he got a 3-year jail sentence with everything suspended, all but 195 days. So again, a 3-year suspended sentence. He has to serve only 195 days, and usually, remember, you only serve half of a sentence. So about half of 195 days is what he'll do, presumably in the jail that is within his jurisdiction. And then he has 2 years of probation to go along with that. And again, he entered that disposition on November 28, 2023. So I tell you what, pleading guilty to a connection to assault in the second degree, which is a misdemeanor, that is significantly better, 1,000% better than what he was facing, which was felonies for murder and connection to murder and felony assault. I mean, he could have had the hammer dropped on him in all reality. But it seems to me, when the state does things like this, they evidently believe the facts demonstrate, and I'll give the state the benefit of the doubt, that they believe that the facts in the situation demonstrate that whatever connection Javon had to this situation was not significant enough where he should be doing a life sentence for murder. And they pleaded him out, and he is going to receive 195 days in jail. And half that. That's really his sentence, and 2 years of probation. So moving on, we've discussed Javon. Let's move on to the next individual in our queue, which is going to be DAIQUAN Guy. Let's show you DAIQUAN Guy real quick. Let's find his photo. This is DAIQUAN Guy right here. You can see him on screen. So DAIQUAN Guy, as you remember, another individual facing a big indictment, murder in the first degree. Let's see how many charges he. Yeah, 18 charges, just like Javon. 18 charges for roughly the same set of facts: murder, connection to murder, a slew of different assault charges, reckless endangerment, disorderly conduct. Same set of circumstances as Javon, right? Well, DAIQUAN would go on to additionally also take a plea. But he didn't do as well as Javon did. So again, DAIQUAN Tyrone Raymond Guy is our second individual who goes on to take a plea in the Allegheny Circuit Court. So there he will have no jury trial. And what he pled guilty to, and as you can see, these are his scheduling for his court. So he had a plea hearing. Well, let's just take it down to where we see the disposition information. So with DAIQUAN Guy, he would plead guilty. Actually, I'm sorry. He would take an Alford plea. So an Alford plea, if you're unfamiliar with what that is, that's when you do not admit liability, but you recognize that there are enough circumstances against you that if you take it to trial, you are likely to be found guilty. Alford plea is a pretty interesting thing. And usually you have to get permission from the court to even enter an Alford plea. Now, with an Alford plea, you can still get a pretty lengthy sentence. I mean, it's still a guilty disposition nonetheless. But an Alford plea, what it does is, in addition to not outright admitting that you've committed the crime, it also protects you from civil liability, is what I understand as well, which can be the other benefit of an Alford plea. So again, an Alford plea, and I don't see a lot of these in Maryland, actually. I really don't. But, and that shocked me right there, because I'm sort of learning this information. I knew I was going to go over it. I actually didn't look into a lot of this, but even before I even started, I pulled it up on Case Search, and I'd figured I'd go along with it here and now with you guys live. I knew there was significant updates. But an Alford plea is interesting stuff, because, like I said, he is not admitting guilt at all, but he is being found guilty, right? It's essentially saying, I do not acknowledge that I'm guilty. However, I do understand that there could be enough evidence to convict me. That is what an Alford plea is, in a nutshell. So it looks like he would enter that Alford plea on January 12th, 2024. So just about a month ago, he entered that plea. Again, that was before Judge Getty in the Allegheny Circuit Court. And Javon, remember, his plea was connection to assault in the second degree. What DAIQUAN would enter an Alford plea to is connection to assault in the first degree. In the first degree. Now, usually first degree assault is a felony, but I guess when it's connection to a first degree assault, it's a misdemeanor. So he took an Alford plea to a misdemeanor of connection to assault in the first degree. And again, that was on January 12th. Now, he did not receive as good of a sentence as Javon, right? So what this Alford plea did for him in terms of his sentence, not very much. Because you'll remember that with Javon, he only got a 195-day sentence. That's it, right? However, DAIQUAN, as you can see right here, has a 20-year sentence and has to serve all but 4 years. So he's looking about 2 years of time if he has good behavior. So about 2 years. About 2 years. So what that tells me is that the state believes the set of facts against DAIQUAN are heavier than they are Javon, right? So that's what it tells me from the state's perspective, is that they believe whatever role DAIQUAN played was far more significant than whatever role Javon played, right? So he's looking at about, again, it's a 4-year sentence. He'll probably do about 2 on good time if he's good in there, but we'll see. And again, that happened in January. So moving on, we are going to talk about, who do we have next? Next, we have Benjamin Atyam. And let's go to his picture right here. Let's see. Yes, there we go. That right there is, let's see if I can back it up a little bit, 29. I'm using my last video. So that is Benjamin Atyam right there. It's important to establish the face with the case. Here he is right here. And with Benjamin Atyam's case, as of this moment, he has not pled guilty to anything. He is still facing all of the charges, the murder in the first degree, connection to murder in the first degree, reckless endangerment. Remember, all 4 of these defendants were facing roughly the same set of circumstances, each and every one of them. At this point, this individual, Ben Atyam, has not pled, and his case is still set for a jury trial, presumably. So, where the latest information we have on him, and this is actually interesting, is that on multiple occasions, this defendant tried to get bond, tried to be released from jail. He tried on 5/17/2023 to get bond. He didn't get it. He tried on 7/10/2023 to get bond. He didn't get it. But recently, as of February 2nd, 2024, this year, not long ago, a couple weeks ago, they put up a $10,000 unsecured personal bond, which he posted. So he posted that bond. As of now, this individual right here, Ben Atyam, is now out of jail. He is out of the Allegheny County Jail, awaiting jury trial, presumably, or awaiting a plea of whatever, right? So if you're keeping score at home, at this point, we have two individuals who have pleaded out and presumably right now are serving different jail sentences. Right now you have Javon, who is going to serve the least, and Javon's going to serve the least. Then you have DAIQUAN, who's going to do about 2 years. And as we stand right now, we have Ben Atyam, who, again, no pleas. The state's not working with him as of yet, who has just now received this bond to get out of jail, has probably been sitting in jail since May. Since May of last year is probably how long he's been in jail. And now that he has bond, we'll see. And that's really the latest information that we have on him. I'm trying to look at this schedule right here. I don't see a scheduled jury trial for him. I see that in April he has a status hearing, but that's really all. We see the jury trial, which was scheduled for November 2023, has been postponed and canceled, but we don't see a scheduled jury trial for him yet. And maybe that tells you that maybe he will plead. I don't know. But finally, we take you to our fourth individual, which is, we'll get to him in 1 second. It's this next guy right here. Malik Nigel Lewis. This is our fourth and final defendant who was indicted as it relates to these circumstances. You can see his booking photograph right there. I'm waving my mouse around it. And let's take you to Malik's case. So when you look at Malik's case, I will tell you, same set of circumstances with him. He does not have a scheduled jury trial as of this filming. He has not pleaded to any of the charges yet. And again, same set of charges you're familiar with at this point. Murder in the first degree, connection of murder in the first degree. Again, you're familiar with these charges. And at this point, and I want to be sure before I say what I'm about to say, but let me see. Yes. So unlike the last individual, unlike Ben, with Malik, he has not been able to post bond. And you can see that right. Let's get to that. He tried for bond on 5/23 and he didn't get it. He tried on 5/24, he didn't get it. He tried recently on January 16th and again did not get released. So they are holding Malik and he has not pleaded to anything. So it makes you wonder, out of these four defendants, you can automatically knock off two and say the first two, and that being Javon and that being DAIQUAN. You can say with these first two, definitively almost, that whatever role they played is not as severe as the role played by Benjamin Atyam and Malik Lewis. And you know that because as of yet, there have been no pleas and the cases seem to be moving forward. Now, Ben might have recently got released on bond, but as of now, Malik is still being held. He is still being held. So it poses the question of whether he will get bond or not. I don't know. Perhaps not. He's had 3 tries, and he has submitted a litany of writ for habeas corpus. That's when you try to, present an argument from in jail, trying to get out, trying to make a motion to get out of the jail. And it doesn't seem as if those are going anywhere as we stand here and now, which is interesting. So what it tells me, and again, I don't want to guess, right? Because you will know all of the facts in due time, especially when you have a jury trial. But it seems to me, if I was to take a guess, it would seem that they think, at least from the state's perspective, that Malik seems to really be the one who is troubled. He is the problem child out of this whole litany of defendants. So that is the update as we have it, guys. I will let you know. I assume the next time I will be speaking with this audience about this subject is either if these 2 defendants go to a trial or if they plead out. But I did want to make this update because you have 2 of the defendants in this situation who have pled out, who have received jail sentences, both of them, and will presumably be serving those jail sentences at the local Allegheny County jail. And then you have another 2 set of defendants who are still on track, from what I see, to go to trial. They have not pled. None of the charges have gone by the wayside. And seemingly they are on track to go to a jury. And I wanted to bring that to you because I thought that was certainly some updates that were crucial. So with that, guys, Levi Trumbull reporting. If you want any of the documents from this situation, you can send me an email. I have a litany of them, the indictments, the charging documents. If you guys want them, I've received a couple emails from you guys out there who have asked for them, and I've provided them. So if you want those, just send me an email, and I'll shoot those over. Any questions about it, you can also email me in as well. I'm pretty familiarized with the case, but a lot of this information you can learn is just from previous reporting that we've done on it. Again, if you haven't seen that and you're interested to get more information about the background of the situation, make sure to check those videos out as well. So with that, Levi Trumbull reporting in Frederick County, Maryland, and we will catch you guys soon.